Hello, Paul.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Got the wrong webcam on. There are too many webcams in this house. Zoom doesn't ask me if I want to show my video when I join calls. Does that change for you also, James?
No, I've always had it just come on, turned off by default. So it doesn't ask me. Just
I feel
join.
like something changed recently.
Hi, John. Hey, Will.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Everyone had good Labor Days?
Could have been.
Yeah. Actually, Paul, I was at Bolsa Chica yesterday.
Wetlands?
No, the beach.
Oh, you went to the beach. Okay. How was it?
So it was nice. But I think people aren't supposed to like sit out and like hang out.
Yeah, you have to keep moving.
No, everyone was setting out their stuff.
Yeah.
Like blankets, umbrellas, everyone was setting up.
Yeah.
So.
It's
Did you go to
supposed to be
Rutgers,
active
John?
recreation.
No, I have friends who are out there.
Oh, okay. I grew up in
Yeah.
New Jersey. My dad worked at Rutgers. So.
Oh, you did? Oh, nice. It's a cool,
Yeah,
it's a cool
Josh said
place.
it's not too shabby, Will. Cookie
Oh, yes.
Monster, Wave of
Cookie Monster.
Kamigawa, whatever.
Yes. Very good. Cookie Gawa, yes.
So yesterday, my daughter shoved my son, and he ended up splitting his eyebrow open.
Oh man.
No.
So we had to go to urgent care and get it sealed up. They put like surgical glue.
Oh,
So that was our
man.
excitement for yesterday.
That's a fun Memorial Day.
Gluing your children together.
What did his face run into?
It was a bench that the kids sit at the table. They're the only ones who use it, but yeah, he fell and went boom, hit it and split it open.
Dang. Oof. Man. Kids,
Yeah,
right?
fun times.
Violent.
Yeah.
Remind me not to mess with your son.
the daughter.
Your daughter.
Oh, the daughter.
Yeah, the daughter's the one who shoved him. We were not happy about that.
How old are they?
My daughter's 4, my son's a year and a half.
Oh, okay. Ooh, harsh. Yeah. Well, in fairness, my 4-year-old and a 5-year-old now has been doing the same with the 1.5-year-old. So I guess it must be a thing.
So who's doing the demo today? Paul's doing it.
Yep, it's me. So I
prepped before this demo. Not enough to work out who was doing the demo, but to think about what we should try and cover.
Okay.
So I think last week we didn't see read distribution.
Yeah, do we have a way to actually to observe that? Because I think that was the issue, right? We didn't have a reliable way to observe it.
So in theory, every Gitaly node should be emitting Prometheus metrics about the number of read ops. So just looking at the usual read out, we should be able to see the reads coming in to different nodes if they're getting round robin around. So rather than looking at the special prefect dashboard, we just look at the dashboard per Gitaly node that's inside of the prefect cluster.
Where are the other dashboards? Why can't I find this right now?
There is actually a specific metric for read distribution as well.
There we go.
Yeah. So I think we should be able to find a way to do it. I think we saw read-only mode, but maybe we can poke around with that a bit more. And yeah, I'd like to look at the Gitaly dashboard a little bit more because there is a Gitaly dashboard that ships with Omnibus that just shows like standard CPU memory usage.
This one we're looking at right now.
I'm just looking at your terminal.
Oh, did I share the window only? Okay, let me share my screen.
But those are the things that were on my mind to cover. Does anyone have anything else that we should cover? Yeah, that dashboard.
Okay, cool. And then I added I have some stuff that didn't make it into Omnibus yet, but it's into the Grafana repo. So I manually loaded that in.
Grant with the perf team was mentioning that redistribution was bringing Postgres to its knees. I don't know if that's, I guess we already know that's happening. I don't know if we need to demo that.
I was chatting to ZJ about that last night because I was under the same impression after reading Grant's thread. ZJ was under a different impression because from his perspective, Postgres should handle thousands of read ops per second without much concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be able to. I
So,
agree. That makes sense.
And he was saying that there was some misconfiguration or something else going on. So, I don't know. That'd be good to exercise, see if we can see some stats about what's going on. I don't know if there's any way to observe it. So that would be a good question to work out what we need to better observe the performance of it and be confident about it. So, where should we start, Paul?
Okay, so I'm just pulling up where I stopped in the instructions. I stopped right before enabling the failover. Jeez, where did I put that? Is it right there? Getting lost in my tabs.
That also
here.
gets to an interesting question that I jotted down. We've got a lot of different configuration flags at the moment, which either we're doing manually or automatically, depending. So we've got the Postgres queue as opposed to the memory queue. Don't know if we need both. We could probably just have the Postgres queue. We've got the failover election strategy that supports manual, memory, or SQL. There's the read-only option for marking things read-only. There's the read distribution option. Are there any other options that I'm missing? The reason I ask is that's a lot of different feature interactions, and I think we should probably make it a priority to start rewinding those and removing the ones that are safe to remove, because that's just a lot less code paths for us to be maintaining.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's an issue with regression testing. I created an issue about this because we're only testing certain combination of features, which is a problem because we don't know that something conflicts with another feature until we remove a feature flag or make it default in the configuration.
ZJ was also saying we don't have default on, really. We kind of just have like on or off. We don't really have defaults. I was confused by that. But
I would think anything that is off is default, because the way the config file works is the zero value of a configuration field is what gets set if you don't provide anything in an toml file.
Got it.
So if something false is always a zero value, for example.
Okay.
Empty string is a zero value. So I'm over here at automatic failover and leader election.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to enable Postgres by, because I don't think this is in the above instructions, right? This is something we have to do afterwards.
If you command F it should be above. I say that because I just looked 30 seconds ago.
Okay, so then that's enabled right now. Let's see here. What else do we have? Let's see here. This one, failover enabled. Is this one also in the above instructions?
Yeah, it was the line above.
Okay. In that case, both of those are enabled. So do we want to start? Oh, I forgot to do the last step, which is import the GitLab repo. Should I do that right now then?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see here. New project. Let's import by URL. That's com. Is that what it is for the WW? I don't even remember what it is now. What's the full path on that? Does anybody remember? I'm not used to typing this in.
GitLab-com slash www-gitlab-com.git.
Wait. Dash,
So dash
additional dash
com.
com.
.git.
.git. It has to be .git. Okay.
I don't know that the Git is required, but
okay.
I don't think Git will follow the redirection otherwise. I think you have to do it when you're doing a by URL. It's my recollection.
Interesting. Okay, we'll just call it www. We'll make it public. Okay. And let's go look at these numbers over here. Take a peek at what Gitaly's saying. There's not a lot in this dashboard. So the reads that you were mentioning, James.
well, can you show me in that instance dropdown? It's showing all, right? So I had the same issue the other day, that it's only showing the local host Gitaly, but there should be another 3 Gitalys because we're still scraping them for metrics, right?
Oh, you know what? Well, let me pull up my. Let's go back and look at the config. So yeah, we have prefect dash Gitaly.
Should we also add those IPs to the Gitaly job?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And do we also need the local host one as well? I mean, not that it actually matters because we're not using the default one, but just thinking what the config should be in the docs.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. Could you say that one more time?
Should we also include the localhost one, the one that's like listening locally, the default storage?
It's easy enough to do.
I'm wondering from a perspective of the docs, since we're presuming that there's default, if we set this, this will just override the Gitaly job that might be presumed or implied. So it'd be localhost or I don't know.
8075. Yeah, I don't know what the default setting is. Is it specified here at all? Yeah, I don't see it in this file. Okay, so we have the new job name Gitaly. Do I have a syntax error here?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Because in theory, we should see the request rate coming through for each of the nodes on that dashboard.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's restart this, refresh. No. job, Gitaly. Yeah, we'll need to spend some more time fixing this and figuring out how to update it.
If we go back to the dashboard, maybe it's coming through. We didn't give it very long. There's something coming through in that request rate.
Maybe drop it down from the last 24 hours to the last 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. Do we aggregate all of our Prometheus metrics into one server? This local 9236, this is running on the GitLab machine. Yeah, so what's the Prometheus configuration for, if I go down to Gitaly, does Gitaly even have a Prometheus listen address set? See, I don't think that's even set.
Pretty sure it's part of the Gitaly node configuration because we're scraping
I think it's part of the default.
There's a default that says
TOML file.
Where's the TOML file?
If you go to var opt GitLab Gitaly config.toml. You have to go to Gitaly.
Yeah, it is set to 9236. Okay. Here it's listed on localhost. Does that matter? No, I don't think that matters. So we're only
that's only
listening.
That's only listening for the local stuff. Like you're just looking at a GitLab node. You're not looking at the Gitaly nodes, which is where. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what this listen address does. Isn't that where we scrape the metrics from?
Yeah, for the one that's on the GitLab machine.
But that's the one that's showing up. That's the one that's showing up, right? And it's just showing 0 because there's no request going to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe you can just do a GitLab CTL restart Grafana. I wonder if it's a Grafana thing. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can also check the internal Gitaly to make sure they're emitting metrics. Pretty sure they are.
Because the confusing bit is we're seeing instance just the localhost one. We would be expecting to see the other 3 Gitalys, which are not localhost, showing up in this dashboard, right? That's what's confusing. So this makes sense, like this chart as it is. It's just showing the local Gitaly.
Also, it shouldn't be 8075 there. I think it should be 9236 as well. Because 8075 is the gRPC port.
Oh yeah. So then this one didn't even need to be here because it's already set somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder if that's actually breaking that
I'm
job.
not sure how Grafana works. Like if it's a bad config, will it just reject the whole thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be this Grafana variable that has the problem.
So what does the job name actually control? Like, could we change this omnibus chart to use the prefect Gitaly job name?
I can change it here. And save. Okay, so I got to duplicate it. There we go.
Oh, okay.
So if I go to all, This doesn't work on all, I guess. So this is broken if you want to view more than one. This should be like maybe like a table or something instead. Okay, no data points. So let me create a repository. Oh wait, I was doing an import. I probably interrupted that, didn't I? By doing the reconfigure.
Oh yeah, with your restart.
Yeah.
Oh, the reconfigure.
I've been generating. I signed up for an account and created a jramsey/Gitaly project, which is public.
You want me to import that instead?
Well, no, I'm just using it to generate load. So, like, if there were read events coming through, like I'm reading my repo. Okay, but essentially this chart doesn't work.
I set it to the prefix storage. Let me just double check it.
I wonder what the Gitaly docs say, just like the straight Gitaly docs.
Yeah, it's set to storage 1. We're seeing no traffic on any of these. Well, these might not be set up for showing more than one. If I actually look at the request rate here. So what is it doing? It's looking at started job Gitaly. This should be job prefect. No, it should be Gitaly. Instance 10.150.041.
Is that right? That double, it's like escaping the backspace. I mean, that backslash.
Yeah, because I think it's a regex. So like if you don't escape it, then it's like any character.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what this tilde here is for, is saying.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
Match this pattern.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wondering if it's because of that IP address it's not showing any data, because I configured it using the private IPs. Why is this taking so long? Shouldn't be that much data on here. Let me just create an ad hoc query here. That's gRPC server started. Okay, so we do have data here. Let's go to all so we can see everything. Can I do that? Okay, so I can see all of them now.
And what's this showing?
This is showing the rate of RPCs started by each Gitaly over 5-minute
cool.
interval, grouped by instance. So we should have 3, or we should have 3. Why am I seeing so many? Oh, here's the default one. 9236. And then we have 4. And then, let's see here. Why are there so many?
Is that prefect and Gitaly?
It must be. Yeah. Well, we'd have, yeah, because there's 6 here. That's weird. Okay. You know what? I need to put the job is probably why. So I need to put job equals prefect or Gitaly. We only want the job equals Gitaly. Let's try that.
What about prefect Gitaly? Because that was the other job, right?
I have a syntax error. my promql sucks. I think it has to go before the, there we go.
Boom.
Okay, so we got 3 of them here. If I take this out, then we should see just the localhost. Don't do that. There you go. Yeah, so 0. That's what we want. Okay, so let's go back to our prefect Gitaly's. So we can observe this now. I'll just save this. And let's go back.
So if we do
Okay.
redistribution, we should start seeing these spiking up on the other ones, right?
Yeah, so let's see here. Let's go back to the one that you had created. So just clicking around, I should be generating read traffic.
So I think to utilize distributed reads, you do need to enable a feature flag.
Oh, I thought we enabled that. There's another one?
Oh, did you the distributed reads?
You're enabling failover, not distributed
Oh, okay.
reads.
Where is that flag?
Here, I
Is
can.
it in here?
No.
I don't think it's in here, huh?
Here, let me send you in the chat.
I have to do that on each prefect.
No, that's on the in the database. Yeah, it's called here. So I think you do feature.enable.
Oh, I have to actually open up the
Rails console.
console. Okay. I haven't done this in a while. Okay. Where am I? I need to get to, where is the Rails console on Omnibus install?
You could do GitLab-Rails space C.
GitLab-Rails or, yeah, I don't know how to actually get to the Rails console from here. So where is,
Right.
hey, Will.
Can you try GitLab-Rails?
Oh yeah, GitLab-Rails C, right?
Yeah.
-C.
Space C, no dash.
Space C.
Yep. And then wait 10 minutes. Not literally.
What is the Rails command for doing that? It's
Is that a feature flag?
Enable, yeah.
Yeah, feature with a capital F.
camel case.
No flag, just feature dot enable, lowercase e.
Okay, and then we omit the Gitaly. We just put in, where is it?
I think you need the Gitaly. I think you need to add Gitaly.
Oh yeah, it's the other way around. In Gitaly, we don't need to say Gitaly. Okay. Which one?
The last
distributed
one, yeah.
reads? Okay.
Yeah. I always get mixed up if you use underscore or dashes or if it matters here. Like, there's a bunch of magic that changes one to the other. I always forget.
Yeah. Did I do it right?
Yeah, it'll say nil no matter what you do, whether or not it was right.
Okay.
You know, like you can set any arbitrary value there. But you don't know if it's going to go to Gitaly or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the graphs and let me click around some more. Oh, and so you also sent me, John, the metric for redistribution.
Yeah, that's the first message I sent. Gitaly underscore prefect underscore read underscore distribution.
Okay, let's do.
Let's see where.
Okay, that looks good enough for me. Redistribution. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, hold on. Is the second graph
So-
redistribution?
So that second graph is showing request rate per Gitaly node. So instance 1 is still receiving all the read operations. I've got a loop running in my bash terminal, just making a blob request over and over and over again. And so that's showing that the request is always going to node 1. So something's not quite working.
Hey, John, this metric here, what is this actually telling us? Is it just telling us that it's turned on or that it's currently being selected for a read?
Is that first graph?
This is the redistribution on top.
Oh, that's the redistribution on top?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just literally, it's logging which storage gets the read every time an accessor RPC is called.
Okay, I see.
So if the top one is redistribution, that would signify it is working.
No, it's saying storage Gitaly 1 for all three. So all prefects are currently routing all requests to Gitaly 1.
Okay.
So have we actually turned on a feature flag? Did I miss that?
Yeah, we did in the
thought
Rails
we did.
console.
We did. Just for kicks, Paul, can you just do the same thing but with underscores? I always get mixed up because in chat ops, you have to use underscores and yeah.
Yeah, no change.
Well, I just a second. My script stopped. Now it's running again. Let's see if that changes anything.
This is a good test to have someone who didn't work on this feature actually try to run it and observe it.
Yeah.
Splitting up the team and doing it that way.
Oh,
there we go.
Gitaly 3, Gitaly 2. It's happening.
All right, so we got these underscores in the Rails console for feature flags.
So that's weird because we have underscores here too. I thought we did a conversion somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's confusing. Okay.
Feature flags. Okay, that's cool.
More lines.
Just going to change this to be a little less smoothed out.
I think for the prefect dashboard, interesting. We should think about what the right chart is for observing this, because I'm not sure that well, I guess, yeah, you probably want to see that all prefects are diverting traffic, but more useful is, are the request rates kind of balanced to all the Gitaly nodes? So really you just want each Gitaly node wants like this kind of chart in the prefect dashboard.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And you want to be able to filter it by cluster. So you can say, okay, in cluster 1, are the read rates balanced? In cluster 2, are the read rates balanced? Having all 6 there it's only 6.
It should be 9, right?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We need more lines.
see 7.
Seven.
So
That's a weird number.
Yeah. We're missing a Gitaly 2 and a Gitaly 3.
Yeah, 3 from 6.9, 3 from 6.8, and 1 from 3.8. Whatever 3.8 is.
Let's wait for it to refresh a little bit. Maybe it's just...
Well, we have 2 prefects and 3 intergilies, right? So there should be 6. Is that right?
Let me do a curl instead because I don't trust this Grafana. Let's go over here and so we have Gitaly on, which one was the one we had problems with? It was 2 and 3. So let's try 2.41. Was it 923, what is the actual port that we listen to on? It's
9236, I think.
9236. And it's read-only something.
No, it's read distribution.
Okay. Why am I not finding it?
Maybe it's capital D. Try doing a case insensitive.
Capital?
It should be lowercase because it should be the actual metric name. So that's weird. That's not finding it. What IPs is that?
This one is .41, which is, let me make sure I'm not on a prefect machine. Yeah, it's Gitaly 2. So when I look through the metrics, I actually can't find it for some reason. Let me try a different Gitaly. Let me try Gitaly 1, which is 67. And let's look for read. No, I can't find it.
Oh, you know what? This metric is on prefect.
Oh, okay.
Not Gitaly.
So then let's try looking at it there for, it was prefect 2 and 3, I think, that had the problem. So 68 and connection refused. It has a different port, I think. Is it 10101?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Why is that not working? 10.50.0.68. That must be wrong. Um, 9652. We use a lot of different ports for the same stuff. It's a little confusing. Okay, there we go. So we got 1, 2, 3. And then if I go to a different machine, 1, 2, 3. And then if I go to the first machine, which is 38, only 2, 1 and 3. Why am I only seeing 1 and 3 here?
Well, that one doesn't look like it got very much traffic, so maybe it is a random like number generator. So
it's not going to pop up on the scrape until we've hit the counter at least once. So it's a little confusing. Okay, but it looks like it's working.
that's pretty cool.
So here's this for an interesting idea. Let's see what happens if I start pushing writes. So I've got my one-liner and I'll just start pushing new refs. So we should see, because of the replication job, everything should start pointing back to the primary, because the replica will be always be behind. So reads shouldn't go if they're behind, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. I'll start pushing that.
Unless the replication job is very fast.
Let's see what happens. All right.
If they're all caught up, then it will just do a random select between all of them. Paul, you want to do some refreshes on the page and see what happens?
Sure. Where was that? I lost my...
Interesting. So you can see now the instance one, that one instance is like picking up and the others are slowing down. That's probably like during the replication delay.
It's also because the metric is smoothed out over a minute, so you'll see like interference from the previous set of data until that 1 minute window has passed.
Okay. I'll make sure my scripts keep running then. It's quite interesting to observe.
This might be important to note, but right now, replication will break after 30 seconds because we have a bug. That's why replication has been broken in prod. I just figured out what it was.
What happened to 30 seconds?
Well, it's because we dropped support for HMAC v1, and HMAC v2 we do a timestamp check.
Oh yeah.
In the replicator, we cache all the connections, and so we set the per RPC token, and then it's too old after 30 seconds.
Yeah. I've seen issues with clock skew causing the error. That's funny that the token would expire within the context of a single replication. So.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I guess it's stabilized. So I guess it's for such a small repo, replication job is very fast. Faster than my push. So I guess like some percentage of reads are getting distributed, but then others aren't during the replication job.
Yeah,
so that's quite interesting.
Another thing we could do is we could turn a couple of Gitaly's off and then see if we ever try to go to a stale one.
Yeah, actually, that'd be really interesting. Do you want to turn off one of the secondaries, Paul? See what happens?
Sure. Let's see here. So I'll do Gitaly 2.
I won't actually see if there's an error because this thing's like making like 20 requests a second or something like that.
Out of curiosity, what's the load that Postgres is putting up right now?
Yeah, do we have any monitoring of the prefect Postgres? Because this would just be the main Postgres, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see here. Yeah, this isn't the one. I guess I have to go to GCP to go find that. If they
Oh,
have
are
any kind of
we
dashboard.
using the Omnibus, or are we using Omnibus Postgres or a separate cloud Postgres?
We're using the managed
Okay.
Postgres.
Yeah, that seems pretty low.
Yeah. I mean, it is spiking a bit.
Well, actually, yeah, 10%. Oh, I don't know what to expect. But that's not a ton of load we're putting on it.
Yeah.
No. It's probably like 10 to 20 requests per second. This thing should be doing like thousands of requests per second. Transactions per second. Interesting.
Is there a way to make this bigger?
That seems kind of high.
Do we know how many read ops per second are happening on GitLab.com?
I think we should have a dashboard for that. Postgres IO.
I mean, that's going to tell us Postgres levels. I guess I'm more interested in like the RPC, the read RPCs per second, because that'll correspond to one prefetch, like one Gitaly request per second, one Gitaly making one routing
Looks
request.
like it's between 2 and 5,000. Is that per second? Yes, requests per seconds. Yeah. That's not just read. That's aggregate.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Which dashboard were you looking at, Will?
It is Gitaly overview.
Oh, you're looking at the
On dashboard. Oh, you're on GitLab. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to find how many queries or transactions we're doing in Postgres.
So we're running short of time. Should we try turning off one of the replicas, the secondaries, and see the request chart change?
So we took down Gitaly too.
Okay. Did anything happen on the dashboard?
We did see it change.
James, are you still pushing?
I am.
Okay.
So the Zoom window's getting in the way. Get out of here, Zoom window. Yeah, we did see it change. Let me back up a bit. So I think we were over here in this period when we saw it switch over. So that's at 11 minutes after.
Oh, there's the yellow one. It just disappears if you're on that. That yellow one just disappears and stops reporting.
Two should never come back up, right?
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go.
The interesting thing is now that green one is like gone to 1, right? So it's like
this green one is instance 39. 39 is
Gitaly 3. Probably.
Yep, Gitaly 3.
So the interesting thing is by turning off this one of the nodes, it looks like redistribution is turned off completely. Like if we go back to the chart, like there is no redistribution happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Everything's going
or am I misreading?
Well, let me put some traffic in here.
Oh no, it's coming back again. I don't know.
If we go around and
Was there a push or something that went in right then?
I'm continuously pushing and continuously reading from my script. Like it's just been running nonstop.
Oh, okay. So, but there's not too long of a gap for that to have been a replication delay.
Maybe that was like a brief pause and it just showed up in my script or something. Maybe my script just stopped itself for some reason.
But only on one Gitaly server.
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
no, it doesn't make sense.
GitLab's choking a bit here on pulling up some of these blobs.
So it's kind of small on my screen, but are we seeing the reads not being distributed anymore?
I think they are being distributed again. There was like a brief pause between like 519 and 520. You can see on that lower chart, there's like that trough.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it is interesting, Paul, that you saw that changelog page was really slow to load just then. I mean, I'm making 10 parallel GET requests to view the danger file at the same time. So I'm just like curling that Rails page 10 times in parallel. Which, like in theory, should actually be hitting the cat file cache. Like, so there really should be like almost zero Gitaly load on that, like, because it's just. Oh no, the cat file cache isn't caching; it's more like process pooling. So we don't actually get any benefit from that.
Yeah, we're not forking a Git process, and the file itself should already be in the file system, RAM cache or the
Yeah,
system RAM
but
cache.
the cat file cache, the way it works, it's per Rails request. So
that won't be hit. But I think what Will's saying is like it should be hot in the file system level caching. Like I'm not hitting like random pages on the repo, and like
right.
If you hit P and B in your browser window, we can see where we're spending our time. Should get the performance bar to pop up. Postgres. It's taking a long time there. Weird.
Yeah, maybe there is something wrong with the database that's causing this, because these are small changes being made to the database, right, James, or to the repo.
Yeah, or the other thing is that file content is actually coming through the Rails application. So maybe the backend is actually causing Rails problems, not Gitaly problems, because that'll be going through a markdown rendering pipeline. That seems acceptable.
Pretty small, 150 a second.
Yeah, I'm surprised the read volume is so low.
So how many requests per second are you doing, James? 20? Roughly seven reads or so per request coming in?
Yeah, so I'm making, about something over 10 requests per second.
So if we have 5,000 requests per second on GitLab.com, we'd have 35,000 reads per second in the Postgres database or a Perfect database.
Yeah, it's probably generating a whole bunch of. Well, I mean, it's not even going to be triggering the JavaScript stuff because it's just a curl. So it's not even going to hit all the async JavaScript stuff that actually loads a bunch of this stuff asynchronously.
Anything else we want to see?
I think that's pretty useful. We didn't look at read-only mode, but I think that's all right. I think this was pretty useful. So just to wrap up the action items, I think we need to check if there's issues for all these config options to start removing them. So I'll post a link to all the ones that I can find, and then maybe we can create others for the ones that we can also remove. I think there's a bunch of fixes that need to be done to this GitLab Omnibus Gitaly dashboard, either to the dashboard itself or to the configuration, the scraping config in the cluster setup, so that this dashboard works out of the box. And it looks like we're already adding redistribution charts to the prefect one. So that's all right. We just need to consider this one. I know I still have, I guess, like questions about performance after this demo of this feature. Like, it seems like it should be fine in some respects, but then it was strange that the Gitaly changelog was so slow to load view.
Weird that the bundled omnibus database would be the bottleneck there.
Well,
Gitaly
the
didn't seem to be
performance bar, yeah, we can look at how long it took in Gitaly, right?
Yeah, it was 80 milliseconds for Gitaly and 600 milliseconds for Postgres.
I feel like we need to have a distributed tracer or something so we can see where these bottlenecks are. It'd be really easy to visualize with something like that.
I think we have that actually.
Yeah, we've got Jaeger.
Is that an omnibus though?
Yeah, it's available. It's been in there for a while. I've never used it, but I've never seen it customized either, but it's there.
Because all these questions we're asking, we could look at it and it would tell us right away.
All right. Well, it looks like we should try and get redistribution up and running. Looks pretty good. Let's try and get it on by default. Get some charts in there. So I think, again, the key action item is we've got a lot of the building blocks, but we just don't have observability out of the box. So there's just a lot of faffing with getting dashboards working and making sure we can see what we need to see to be confident things are happening. So I don't know, Paul, do you think there's issues for these observability things already, or do we need more issues again?
For the Gitaly specific ones?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's looked at these dashboards in forever, so I don't think there's any issues.
All right. I think I might have created one the other day. I'll double check and we can repurpose that one and we can go from there. And that'd be the only action item if someone could pick that up as a priority before next demo, because yeah, this is like what we need to be looking at for redistribution.
We'll do some dashboard changes anyway, so I could take that.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the demo.
Cool. Thanks, Paul.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.